Hello, sir. I have a package that...
So do I. Yoink! Package. Shit, as I suspected. Words. Everywhere. Lame.
We should read some of them.
Fine. Scene 1. Dark and stormy night. Deadpool is contracted to kill media mogul Chance White, who is blah 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 dee blah blah. Don't need that. Edit that.
Ah, crayons. Very classy.
Why are we trying to kill what's-his-face? Who cares? I'm making art here. Behold!
Not sure the player understands our thinking
Hey,
yet.
player, just go with it. We're about to change your fucking life. Bring the noise!
With the third Deadpool movie rapidly approaching, I thought about playing the X-Men Origins game, the Deadpool game and watching the first two movies. But the X-Men game doesn't start on my gaming PC, and on my old PC the frame rate was a bit lagging. Also I had some other things to do, so it will be the game and maybe the second movie for now. But this video will be about the game. The Deadpool game is a bit of an oddity. It is a rather short hack and slay game, which somehow still had an enormous budget. Actually one of the highest upon release. I don't know where the money went, the game surely doesn't scream big budget, and compared with other highly expensive games of the time, like Max Payne 3, I really can't imagine how it turned out the way it did. Probably the development was rebooted a couple of times. Anyways, let's get to the story, shall we? It begins with Deadpool dicking around in his shithole of a flat, and he suddenly has the idea to make his own game. So he calls High Moon Studio, and after some threats, High Moon is convinced. A short call with Nolan North later, the voice actor is also hired. The script is also sent to Deadpool, who decides to make some changes, and overall just doesn't read the script. And I have to say, the comedy and the Deadpool character are nailed perfectly here. The jokes are actually funny, the character really feels like Deadpool, but that's unfortunately almost all the good I can say about the story. Why? Well, because there isn't much of a story after that. To be honest, Deadpool never listens to the exposition that is dumped around him. There is some potentially interesting story involving the X-Men, Genosha, the mutant genocide and Mr. Sinister. But we just don't learn anything about it.
Cable? Hey, man out of time. What are you doing here?
We haven't seen him since our run in the comics together.
Oh, I love reunions.
Wade, I need you to listen closely. I've time-traveled from the future to bring you a dire warning about...
Oh god, here he goes again. He's not here 10 seconds before he starts boring us with his dire warning from the future crap.
Sinister has knocked out the X-Men by broadcast...
We may want to pay attention. This could explain a critical plot point.
The survival of Earth entirely depends on... which all hinges on you, Wade. Now here's the critical part.
It's so boring.
How does that work? Where does that expression come from? Doesn't make any sense.
Make it stop.
The character introductions are also pretty bland and superficial. We get the cliff notes, but that's already it. Deadpool just tries to kill someone, but then Mr. Sinister kills that someone and Deadpool wants to kill Sinister, because he messed up his hit. So with a very light story but funny jokes, the gameplay has to shine, right? Right? Well, that's unfortunately the game's downfall. The gameplay just isn't that good. I played through it twice by now, both times on the hardest difficulty, and in the second playthrough I unlocked all the upgrades that remained. But it still didn't make the gameplay any more enjoyable. It's just not that deep, and when compared to the games of Suda51 for example, which start with bland gameplay but get better as you upgrade your character, this here just doesn't do much. It never feels like you really improve, get stronger or make the gameplay more interesting or at least look cool. Sure, more damage is nice and some of the momentum attacks look okay, but the battles are also just so repetitive. You can use melee weapons like katanas, scythes and hammers. Ranged weapons like pistols, submachine guns, shotguns and some futuristic electric weapons as well. There are also grenades, flashbangs, mines and bear traps. The melee weapons and ranged weapons And Deadpool himself can be upgraded, but as I said, it's not that great. Deadpool can quickly switch between weapons, and higher combos give more points to upgrade and fill the momentum bars, which allows for special moves, which are either very powerful, hit several enemies, or do both. The enemy types are varied on first glance, but you fight them all in the same fashion. Aim for the head or hit them with melee weapons and stun them. Enemies which are stronger, like the big ones, or those who attack with energy blasts, have to be evaded. You can also try to counterattack, which is a strong attack, but can lead to a seemingly endless chain of counterattacks, and Deadpool can be attacked during these, because the counters are delayed at some times. A lot of the damage is also super random. For one, when Deadpool gets shot, he either gets little damage or is half dead. And the same goes for most enemies, except for the tanky enemies. But headshots can also kill them rather quickly. The boss fights are also kind of terrible. Most of the bosses are some D-grade villains who are also annoying to fight. Vertigo just gives you an ugly effect, which is just stupid looking, while fighting Blockbuster is just a typical tanky enemy which charges you. You press the right button while he charges and make him dizzy to deal some damage until he is back into action. The level design is also confusing at times, and you fight in the same arenas a couple of times as well, or just waves after waves in the same spot. Especially the ending is aggravating, and due to the damage it feels more like luck than skill. You first start to get to the last part via a prolonged platforming section and then fight off several waves of enemies in the courtyard. None of it is fun. You fight the tanky enemies first, then the standard enemies a couple of times, then the bosses all together at once, again with that ugly effect, and then a couple of sinister clones, also a couple of times. And then that's it. It doesn't feel special, it's not great, it's not grandiose. It's just another battle, it just takes longer. As we don't even know why we fight, and it didn't feel special or exciting, you don't care. Even though the game is quite short, it feels like it's overstaying its welcome. And there's even more, and yeah, I didn't use the Scary Movie sound clip this time. I also didn't complete all the challenges. You just fight more waves in the challenges. You start with bronze, then silver and then gold. Gold unlocks infinite mode, which also grants Deadpool a bonus suit, which he can only use in that mode, in that challenge. And that's just stupid. I did 2 challenges and then uninstalled the game. Deadpool the game is just a series of moments that never live up to its full potential. The story is non-existent, the gameplay flat and boring, the comedy and the Deadpool character are great, but the whole thing is just so unenjoyable that I was getting annoyed even by the character towards the end. The Deadpool game is unfortunately just underwhelming, and you are better served with the movies, or by reading the comics, and I give Deadpool the video game a mediocre 5 out of 10. No, definitely not.
Comics. It's dead. Don't make me do this, please. Oh, really? She always looks so surprised to see us.
If this game had a shame meter, it'd be full right now.
Hey, player, sit your ass down and watch some TV.